Hello students, welcome back in your science class. Let's continue our chapter friction. In yesterday class, we have studied what is friction. Friction is a type of contact force. It is a force that opposes the motion of an object. For example, if you roll a ball on the ground, you will see that it stops after some time. It means the motion of ball is opposed by the force of friction that applied on the ball through the ground. After that we have studied what are the causes of friction. There are two causes of friction. First is due to the interlocking of surfaces and second is due to the force of adhesion between the two surfaces. What is force of adhesion? I have told you when two surfaces are in contact with each other, the atoms and molecules present on the at the point of contact, they attract each other due to the electrostatic attraction. This is known as force of adhesion, and this force of adhesion gives rise to force of friction. And factors on which the force of friction depends. First factor is on a horizontal surface, force of friction is directly proportional to the weight of the body in contact, which moves. And second is the force of friction depends on the nature of the surface in contact. If two rough surfaces are in contact, there are more force of friction, and when two smooth surfaces are in contact, there will be less force of friction. And third factor is it does not depend on the area of surface in contact. Now today we will discuss about types of friction and fluid friction. First is static friction. This type of friction exists between two bodies that are relatively at rest position. Even an external force acting on them. When so to overcome the static friction between two surfaces, a maximum force is applied on the object. And this maximum force that can be generated to overcome the static friction is known as limiting friction. Suppose here is a heavy box put on the ground. When a person wants to push it, he applies force, but when this box does not move, it means due to the static friction it does not move. And when he applies more maximum force, the heavy box moves. So this maximum force that an object moves, due to which an object moves, this maximum force is known as limiting friction. And next is sliding friction. It is also known as kinetic friction. This type of force of friction between the two surfaces in contact when one of them slides over the other surface, and this is known as sliding friction. When you want to push a book put on the table, you will push it and it will slides over the surface of the table. So this is a sliding friction when in which one one object slides over the other surface. Next is rolling friction. This type of force of friction comes into exist when one object rolls over the other surfaces. When you carry a luggage, you use a wheeled bag that helps to move easily on the ground. So when an object has wheels, under it easily move, and this is due to the rolling friction. And roller skates have wheels that help in moving very fast. The wheels of the skates experience rolling friction while moving. So in this way you can see, in static friction more force is applied in comparison to sliding friction and rolling friction. So static friction is more than sliding friction and rolling friction is less than sliding friction. Let's see that rolling friction is less than sliding friction through an activity. Take a wooden block with a hook, and this is the spring balance with the hook. Place the hook of the spring balance in the hook of the wooden block, and now apply the force uh, from this side, and note the reading of the spring balance. And in next you have to take two pencils also and put these pencils below the wooden block, and arrange this into according to the first state, and now apply the force from one side, other side, and note the reading, in which you will see that reading is less. Here is more reading than this state. So it shows that rolling friction is less than the sliding friction, because in first state reading is more than the reading in second state. So it shows that rolling friction is less than sliding friction. Next is fluid friction. Liquids and gases are called fluids. All liquids and gases are known as fluids. All fluids exert a force of friction on object that move through them, which is called drag. What is called drag? So the force of friction exerted by all fluids, means by liquids and gases, on object that move through them. Suppose you have seen a fish moves in a liquid, means water, and aeroplane moves in air. So object that move through air or water, a force of friction is applied on them, which is called drag. And the frictional force exerted by gases and liquids depend upon the shape, material and speed of the object. You have seen that fish and aeroplane have a streamlined shape. Which type of shape? Streamlined shape. Streamlined shape is that narrow at the both end and broad at the middle point. This type of shape is known as streamlined shape, and aeroplane, fish, both have streamlined shape, due to which they move easily in fluids. Aeroplane moves in air, and fish moves in water. So what is streamlined shape? A shape which is narrow at both ends, back and front, and broad at the middle. This shape is known as streamlined shape. Due to this streamlined shape, fish move easily in water, and aeroplane moves easily in air. So today you have studied about types of friction and fluid friction. In next session we will study advantages and disadvantages of friction, and how can we reduce or increase the friction? That's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.